Phillies. 1972 baseball highlights.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The Phillies regret to announce that because of the strike of the Major League Baseball Players Association, today's game between the Phillies and Pittsburgh Pirates has been canceled, and that future games have been temporarily suspended.
For the Phillies, it was that kind of year, but it was also this kind of year. Steve Carlton, Philadelphia, had found a new hero to get excited about. In 1972, the Phillies played to more than 1,300,000 fans. One big reason, superstar Steve Carlton. A good crowd came out to see the Phillies in their strike-delayed opener at the Vet. Including Mayor Frank Rizzo. The fans were optimistic. And so was Kite Man. However, this aborted flight was a portent of things to come for the Phillies' 1972 season. The Phils surprised everyone by getting off to a great start. They got good pitching and good fielding. And timely hitting, too. They got a few breaks in the field. And even found time to help Willie Mays, one of baseball's greatest stars, celebrate his 41st birthday. When Steve Carlton beat the Giants at the Vet, that victory put the Phillies in a virtual tie for first place with the New York Mets, if only for a few hours. But early in June, the Phils slumped, and general manager John Quinn was fired. The Phils lost 19 out of 20. Darren Johnson had been hurt, and that hurt. John Quinn was replaced by farm director Paul Owens.
I anticipate no problem, and with Frank or with the players or with the coaches, and I think it's just a matter of us putting ourselves together. And as you know, when you come out of the slump, a lot of times you get a couple breaks here and you win a couple, and the thing gets back at an even keel. Because I like to win.
Just a month later, with the Phillies still losing, manager Frank Lucchese was the next to go. At a Veterans Stadium press conference, a highly emotional Lucchese bade everyone a tearful farewell.
I have to take some of the blame for this, what happened this year. I will say this, I tried everything I possibly could with every young ball player that come up through the farm system to give them an opportunity. Not once did I go to Bob Carpenter or John Quinn, of course Paul wasn't here long enough, and say, I can't do it with these kids. You have to get me some ball players. Not once.
General manager Paul Owens got the job. Welcome to the club, Paul. Steve Carlton captured the imagination and affection of the fans like no Philadelphia sports figure before. The love affair was achieved with style and brilliance. Steve Carlton was a great pitcher in St. Louis. He came to the Phillies in a deal for Rick Wise that shocked both cities.
I had a lot of questions this year about the trade, of course, when I came over from St. Louis for Rick Wise. All I can say is that when it happened, I was a little upset, a little shaken. The trade was a blessing in disguise, is what it turned out to be. I'm extremely happy to be in Philadelphia. I wouldn't want it any other way now.
Where baseball is involved, Steve Carlton is consumed with only one thought, winning. He is a fierce, supremely confident competitor. The people around him in the Phillies dugout know Big Steve is something special.
Being an infielder, playing behind Steve Carlton makes playing baseball a pleasure. The reason for this is because when he gets on the mound, he doesn't pitch it with his cap or play around with a rosin bag. He looks down, gets a sign, and he's in complete command with all his pitches.
Steve Carlton is a very intense type individual who goes about his job in as well a manner as any pitcher I've ever had, and he's been a great influence on the rest of the pitchers on our staff. I really can't measure or tell you what Steve Carlton has meant to this ball club.
To really echo what everyone else has said about Steve Carlton, I'd like to just add my a little comments about this guy. He is, without a doubt, I think, one of the greatest competitive pitchers that I've ever seen.
And I think if we had 2 or 3 more pitchers like Steve Carlton, this ball club would be a contender.
When you play behind a pitcher like Steve Carlton, make you feel good because you know the only thing you got to do is get 2 or 3 runs, and he's going to beat somebody.
He's a great person. He's a great team man. And I think he's been a big inspiration not only to the people here in Philadelphia, but for the young ball players that are on this ball club. And I think with an inspiration like that, it won't be too long before they'll live up to the things that Steve is able to do right now.
And he's a hell of a pitcher.
On a day in June up in Montreal, Steve Carlton made news when he faced the Expos and manager Gene Mauch. Carlton hit only 1 batter all year, fiery shortstop Tim Foley. Result, the battle was joined.
There's been a lot of comment this year about the fight that the Philadelphia Phillies had with the Expos in Montreal. This is something that occurs in baseball frequently. It's always in the heat of the passion or in battle, so to speak, as when you're pitching against a club that's trying to beat you. Tempers will flare, of course, and everybody's up for a game, and everybody's excited. In this particular case, they threw it at Joe Liss, what I thought was intentionally, and I retaliated by knocking down Tim Foley. And of course, everyone knows what resulted after that. Both benches emptied, and a fight occurred. No one was hurt seriously. Gene Mott got hurt a little bit, but he's recovered from that since then. And I don't like to see it happen. But it seems that it is a part of baseball, and it'll probably occur frequently as long as the game is in existence.
The fight almost erupted again when Ernie McAnally threw behind Carlton. Steve had to be restrained from charging the mound. In 1972, Steve Carlton fanned 310 batters, tops in the National League. Was he always a strikeout pitcher?
Well, I've never had a lot of strikeouts. The most I ever had was 210 in a season, but I've never had a lot of starts. And I've never pitched on a 4-man rotation, which is, I think, the secret to my success this year. It's allowed me to be very consistent.
When Steve struck out Giants' Ron Bryant, it was his 1,000th career strikeout. And when he struck out Skip Jutzy of the Cardinals, it was strikeout 269, breaking the all-time Phillies record held by Jim Bunning. On a hot August night, over 53,000 fans jammed Betts Stadium to see Steve Carlton go after his 20th win and 15th in a row. Steve had not lost a game in almost 3 months. 2 words, Carlton pitching, was now a Philadelphia happening. While Carlton was not at his best, the Phillies came from behind. And Steve still walked off the mound a winner again. most spontaneous demonstration of affection ever accorded a professional athlete in Philadelphia. With a chant of "We want Steve," Steve Carlton returned to the field and acknowledged the ovation. 4 days later, before another 50,000-plus crowd, Carlton faced the Atlanta Braves and Phil Niekro. Although pitching a Super Bowl game this time, it wasn't enough. In 11 innings, Carlton lost 2-1. After the heartbreaking loss, Carlton talked about the end of the winning streak.
I was a little sad that, the string was broken, because I was really looking forward to, going all the way with it. You get that far, you hate to see it terminate it in a game like that, 11 innings, 2-1. But I was a little sad. It was a bad feeling, because we could have won the game so many times. But like I said, you just have to accept the fact that Niekro was better than me that night, because he pitched a Super Bowl game, and the credit has to go somewhere.
After his loss to Atlanta, Steve Carlton quickly got back on the winning track. When the season ended, he had won 27 ball games, more than any other pitcher in baseball, and lost only 10. He would lead the National League in strikeouts, innings pitched, earned run average. And when the season ended, Steve Carlton, by unanimous vote of the nation's sports writers, won the coveted Cy Young Award, emblematic of the best pitcher in the National League. The first time ever in the history of this award that anyone received this honor while pitching for a last-place ball club. To show their appreciation, the Phillies and the fans gave him a special night. 1972, a season Steve Carlton and Philadelphia will never forget. For the Phillies, despite a disappointing season, there were some bright spots. Greg Luzinski was one of them, playing left field, a strange position for him. He fielded well. Sometimes not too well. But it's his big bat that the Phils are counting on for years to come. In 1972, shortstop Larry Boa had the best glove in the league. The Phillies even gave him a gold one. And wouldn't you know it, he booted the first one that same day. After that, he made only 8 more errors for a new league record. Along with third baseman Don Money, since traded to Milwaukee, they formed the best left side of any infield in the majors. Plate, Larry hit 13 triples to lead the National League in this department. Willie Montanez did not play up to his great rookie season of 1971. But he has outstanding ability. Willie hit 34 doubles to lead the National League. This catch saved a win for Steve Carlton over Bob Gibson of St. Louis. Did he really catch it? Or did he trap it? Willie caught it. Watch Montanez turn this miscue into one of the Phillies' pet trick plays. all the way. A temperamental Montanez lost this argument with umpire Ed Vargo. Willie does things with a flair, even when he strikes out. Denny Doyle platooned at second base with Terry Harmon. Denny came up with some timely base hits. And he fielded his position well. Denny also knows how to run the bases. Terry Harmon, a good utility player. He got his first major league home run, an inside the park job in Houston's Astrodome. And to prove it was no fluke, Terry hit another one out of the park in Chicago's Wrigley Field with the wind blowing out. The deal with the Dodgers for Tommy Hutton was a good one. He was the Phillies' leading pinch hitter. Tommy played both the outfield and first base for the Phils in 1972. And he often came up with plays like this. Dave Downs, a pitcher with a future, up from Reading. Downs shut out Atlanta in his first major league appearance. Max Scarce, also up from Reading, was used only in relief. He saved a big win for Steve Carlton in the ninth inning with nobody out. There's one out. Bill Plummer tagged at the plate. Now Scarce has Joe Morgan. Got him. And Bobby Tolan to save the win for Steve Carlton. Giles, Phillies promotions were fun forever.